Hey there. Today, I want to share a really special story with you. It's called The Ant's Journey, and it's all about a tiny creature asking a really, really big question. As we follow along, I think we're all going to discover something pretty important about our own search for happiness.
So let's just start with a question that, let's be honest, probably all of us have asked at some point. Am I actually happy with my life? You know that feeling, right? When you look at what other people have and you're just convinced the grass is so much greener on their side. Well, if that sounds even a little bit familiar, this story is definitely for you.
You see, our story is all about this one little ant who was so sure, absolutely positive, that happiness had to be somewhere else. So what does she do? She decides to go on this epic quest, traveling all over the world just to find it. But as you'll see, the secret she ends up finding is not at all what she was looking for.
To really get why she went on this journey, we have to start with where she was coming from. It all begins with this deep, deep unhappiness she was feeling. So picture this ant living way down in the roots of an old tree. She just felt completely invisible. She saw herself as way too small, totally unimportant, and was just convinced her life had absolutely no purpose. In a world that seemed so big and full of other creatures, she honestly believed that nobody even knew she existed.
Well, one evening, she's sitting on a stone, just crying her eyes out, when a wise old sage happens to walk by. He asks her, "What's wrong?" And she just blurts it all out. "My life is full of sorrows. Nobody likes me."
Now this is where it gets interesting. The sage makes her this incredible offer. He says, "Look, I can transform you into any creature you want to be, but there's a catch. First, you have to go find that creature and learn the secret to its happiness." For the ant, this was it. This was the chance she'd been dreaming of. And her choice? To become a beautiful butterfly. And just like that, her journey began.
And so the quest is on. The ant takes off, completely certain that happiness is out there somewhere, and that someone else holds the key.
It doesn't take her long to find a gorgeous butterfly, just fluttering from flower to flower. The ant is totally in awe. She goes right up to it and says, "Oh, butterfly, you are so, so beautiful. You must be the happiest creature in the world."
But the butterfly's answer was a total shock. "Well, people do admire my beauty, yes," it sighed, "but my life only lasts for a few days. I'm constantly terrified that my time is about to run out." Then the butterfly pointed the ant in a different direction. "You should talk to the honeybee. Now she must be happy, making all that sweet honey for everyone."
Okay, so following that advice, the ant finds a honeybee buzzing around in a garden. Now this, she thinks, this is a creature with real purpose. So she goes up and says, "You make that delicious honey that everyone loves. You have to be very happy."
But you guessed it, the honeybee's story was just as sad. "I work all day and all night," it buzzed. "And for what? For people to just come and steal my honey? My hard work is never really mine." The bee then suggested the ant should go find the rabbit. Since he just roams around freely, he must be happy. Still determined, the ant scurries off to the forest. Sure enough, she sees a rabbit just leaping through the green grass. "Okay, this has got to be it. This is true joy," she thinks. She calls out, "You have so much fun, just roaming free. You must be so happy." But the rabbit stops and immediately sets her straight. "My life is not what it looks like," he explained. "I'm always hiding from predators, and just finding enough food to eat is a struggle every single day. I'm basically living in constant fear." The rabbit then looks up at the sky. The bird, now that's the one, flying high above all the danger. He has to be the happiest of all. So her journey takes her all the way up a tall tree to her final interview. She finds this beautiful, colorful bird singing its heart out, and she's thinking, "Okay, this is it. This has to be the answer I've been searching for." The ant tells the bird her whole story, from beginning to end. The bird listens very patiently, and then it says something that just stops the ant dead in her tracks. It chirped, "I've flown all over this world. I've seen every kind of creature you can imagine. And after all of that, I honestly believe that it's the ants who live the best lives."
The ant was just stunned. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. The bird went on, "Every single creature I've ever met is dealing with its own problems, its own fears. But you ants, you all work together. You're united. You've built this safe, peaceful world for yourselves, and nobody bothers you." And in that one moment, hearing her own life, the life she hated so much,
described as something to be jealous of, as safe and peaceful, it was like a switch flipped. A light just turned on inside the ant's heart. Everything changed.
With this incredible new way of seeing things, the ant raced back to the wise old sage. Her heart, which had been so full of sadness, was now just overflowing with this amazing new understanding.
So she stands in front of the sage and gives him her report. She tells him everything she learned about the butterfly's fear of time, the bee's sadness, the rabbit's constant anxiety, and how even the bird had no real peace. And after laying it all out, she gives her final, powerful conclusion. I want to remain an ant.
And this, right here, this is the powerful lesson of the whole story. We spend so much of our time looking at other people's lives, totally convinced they've got it better, but this story is such a great reminder to just pause and realize that the very thing we have might actually be someone else's dream.
So that brings us right back to the beginning. What really is the secret to happiness? The ant's journey teaches us that you don't find it by trying to become someone else, and you don't find it by searching in some far-off place. Real true happiness, it's discovered when you start to appreciate the life you already have. Because the big secret is that happiness was never out there to be found. It was in your own heart all along.